Talking with the experts.
Ruth Stuettgen explains why many business owners, especially women, tend to undervalue themselves and charge much less than what their service is valued at.
What is branding? A lot of people think that branding is a logo or a tagline or colors, and admittedly it can seem confusing at first, but in fact it's actually a combination of elements which makes up the promise of an experience for the customer or your clients. And when you think of brands or companies like Coca-Cola or BMW or even IBM, Honda, you might have thought of a specific brand as I was talking here. People tend to see the logo in their minds and think that the logo is the brand, but it's also a combination of the logo and the tagline and the colors.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And while you're over at YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell so that you know when my next videos are uploaded. Today, it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to Ruth Stuettgen, who is an acquaintance of mine from a couple of months ago, and I was so impressed by her presentation on the day that I've invited her to speak with you today. Now, Ruth has worked globally with entrepreneurs, executives, and corporate teams as business throughout and corporate performance coach. She's a hypnotherapist and she's also a speaker. Her premium boutique practice elevates clients who are ready to change their game and up level in all areas of their lives and businesses, drawing on unique and systematic processes and tools. And today we're going to be talking about how to brand the soul of your business. So if you're wanting to know how you can find what the soul of your business is, then I'm sure Ruth has got the goods for it. Welcome, Ruth, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, Rose. I know you're not well, so I feel honored that you were able to get off the couch from your nana nap to interview me.
Oh, never mind. You know, these things are, if it's important, then it's something that I need to do. So tell me a little bit more about how to brand the soul of your business and what that actually means.
Okay, so I did say that I want to share the screen with you.
By all means do.
Yeah, would you mind me doing that? So let me just, I do think that I've got the ability to share the screen with you. So just bear with me a moment. And,
I can see it perfectly. Yes, it's all good.
You can see that. And just one tick, I will have to just do one further step. Can you see that?
I certainly can.
So it's not my forte doing this quickly, so
that's okay.
All right.
There we go. Full screen. We're beautiful.
Fine. Perfect.
The floor is yours.
All right. Lovely. So I wanted to say welcome to you, and you can see the screen, how to brand the soul of your business. Is that what you can see?
I can see that, yes.
Lovely. So my name is Ruth Stuettgen, as Rose so generously said before, and I specialize in coaching women entrepreneurs and leaders who want to create a freedom-based business, being authentic and according to their divine purpose. So that's all what I'm all about. I'm passionate about empowering women, empowering leadership and prosperity and success in them as well. I'm a mum of 3 and a passionate supporter of women wanting to create financial freedom, doing what it is that they love. And what I would like to share with you today is how you can brand the soul of your business by using your personality to create a powerful and unique brand for your business so that you can stand out above the crowd. How does that sound?
Absolutely perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
So even though Rose has introduced me, I'll just share why I do what I do. I've had experience in coaching and teaching for more than 30 years now. However, the turning point in my life came in February 2012, when a sequence of events led me to leave my abusive marriage of 23 years together with my 3 children. And at the time, we were living in a gorgeous 6-bedroom house, double story at the bowl of a court. If you don't know what a court is, that's just like a dead-end street. And it was a very short street, so it was a very idyllic setting. And our home was nestled at the foot of the Dandenong Ranges in Australia in a town called Ferntree Gully. If you don't know the area, if you're not from here, that Ferntree Gully is about 30 to 40 kilometres out in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne in Victoria, in the state of Victoria in Australia. Very beautiful setting. People go there, the Dandenong Ranges to go and have some me time in summertime and in winter time as well. So to the outside world, my family with the 3 kids and my husband, we appear to be a very normal family. Our oldest daughter, Laura, she was almost 18 at the time and she just started her last year at school. And Emily, she was 12 at the time and she just started her high school hearing. So the secondary school, the last level, she just started that as well. And then we had Tim, our 9-year-old. He was our baby. He was halfway through primary school. So for Laura and Emily, they were very crucial times at that point in time when it happened. And it happened on the 22nd of February. So when I say we appear to be a very normal family, it was very important for me that my kids were settled or seemingly settled. They were well cared for. They had good grades in school. They were very good at school. They were settled there, and also they had their sporting commitments and they had their friends and my family, because my husband was from overseas, from Germany to be exact. And so the children had, through my family, we were very well cared for in that sense as well. Behind closed doors, though, everything was in turmoil. I was living in an abusive relationship with my ex-husband, and I was really unhappy. So there were a lot of arguments. I was living in the spare bedroom at the time, and it was just very unsettling at the time as well. So on the morning of the 22nd of February in 2012, after a very extremely restless night because I'd thrown my husband out, I knew in the pit of my stomach that I didn't want to. I just couldn't stay one more night under the same roof as my husband. So it was about probably around 8:30 in the morning. And if you have children, school-age children, you can just imagine how busy it gets at that time of the morning. Everybody's, trying to get ready for school. I was shouting up to upstairs to where they were in their rooms, so that we could leave, so that they can pack their bags, put their shoes on, and we can get out of the house. And my husband, I'd thrown him out the night before, and he wanted to come back into the house because he needed to go to work. And he threatened to call the police. And I didn't want to unsettle the kids even further. And I didn't want the neighbors to, start talking if the police rocked up. And I did have an intervention order out against him, but we were allowed to live under the same roof. And so I let him in the house. So at the bottom of the staircase, that was kind of our lobby area. We were all 4 standing in there. My daughter Emily, she was at a camp, so it was my my two kids, Laura, Tim, and then my husband and I. We were standing in the lobby area, and of course we were arguing about things, my husband and I was trying to get the kids to get out of the house, and I finally managed to do so. But as I said before, I knew that I couldn't go back. It was just one of those split seconds, the universe, God took over, and everything that day just had to happen on that particular day. So after I dropped them off at school, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and she said to me, "You know what, Ruth, you can leave if you want to. You can come and stay here." And she knew a little bit about what was going on, so she gave me that olive branch, and that just made me more determined. And I went home, and I as quickly as I could, moved as much of our personal belongings out of the house in the short time before the kids had to be picked up from school again. And luckily, thank God, to this day, my husband didn't come home at the time. So I was able to do a few trips in my little black Suzuki Swift. And if you know what a Suzuki Swift is like, it's, very small, and the boot is so tiny, it could fit, if I had the kids' school bags in the back of the boot, in the back, it was full, chock-a-block. So I had to put the seats back and do a couple of trips as well. So after that, I was on autopilot. I was really on autopilot. I moved in with my girlfriend with the 3 kids for about 10 days. And then I decided to move on because she already had a house full as well with her children. And over the next 9 months, I was able to bunk down with 2 more family members. One of my sisters, I was there for about a month, and then another sister, she had enough room to have me and my 3 kids. Their house was big enough to have 3 spare bedrooms where we could live with minimal things, because I was only able to, take so much out of the house. So for me, that period of time was very stressful because, as I said, autopilot, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just knew that I needed to look after my kids to make sure that they were fine, and to start putting things into process, post-separation, post-split, and worrying about what he was going to do, going to the police, because he apparently threatened me with child abduction. And but I knew he didn't really have a leg to stand on, because there was this intervention order out against us. So at the time, I was on autopilot, but I also felt like a little girl. I really just needed, even though I had the support of my family and friends, I needed someone to just hold my hand and come up to me and say, "Come on, Ruth, I've got you. I've got your back. I'll hold your hand. I'll help you. I'll guide you. You've got to go through all of this, but I'll be here watching you every step of the way. And if you need some assistance, I will help you." So that's the kind of thing that I needed and I wanted back then. So 9 months later, I was able to move into my own place. And what was humbling at the time was the support of my family and my friends. My whole home, where my kids and I were going to stay, was furnished. It was furnished with couches, bedrooms, kitchen utensils, everything, table, dining room table, everything. And that was such a very humbling experience. And I'm up till now very grateful for that, to have friends and family behind me. So that time, after moving into our new home, I was able to continue healing despite doing all the nitty-gritty of post-separation, split and divorce and lawyers and everything. I continued to heal. And that's when I started working with coaches and mentors, and I did a bit of soul searching as well. And through that time, I discovered that I wanted to help people like the coaches and mentors were doing to me. I wanted to help people, and I was coaching in a sense before and educating and teaching before, but I knew I wanted to teach others specifically through coaching as well. So what I did then was I studied and I became a law of attraction coach, a certified law of attraction coach. And over the years, I upskilled over several years to add even more to those qualifications. And I became a money breakthrough business coach and a corporate performance coach. And at that time, I didn't know, even though I had those qualifications, I wasn't specifically sure how to do that, or how to specifically coach clients on what, you know what I mean? Other than what others suggested to me and following how others promoted themselves. And I felt that I needed to find ways to stand out above the noise of the other coaches, rather than do exactly what they did. And I wanted to especially feel aligned to what it is that I want to do, to my personality, and not what the others were doing to be promoting in their business. I definitely wasn't able to acknowledge at the time that there's an immense value in what I do to allow my clients to achieve great things, and that I can own my special personality or personal way of being when I coach. Yeah. So since I've been doing that mindset work and apply the very methodologies that I learned in my coach training, I'm now so honored to be able to facilitate in my clients to achieve great mindset shifts themselves, and to help them figure out how to offer amazing value to their clients at the same time, to their clients and their customers who are willing to invest in their services. And when I discovered that my personal and unique archetypes just magically aligned with what I stood for, I felt much more confident, and I felt very powerful knowing that I was tapping into my strengths and that I could help others do the same. But enough about me. This is all about you. I want to share with you how you too can brand the soul of your business, just like I've done. So I'd love to invite you to be present and in the now. This is all about you. And I want you to stay till the end, because I'll share something really amazing with you. And I promise to do the same. I'll be here right for you. So go ahead. And if you have any browsers open, if you've got your phone buzzing next to you, turn that off or turn it on silent, grab a pen and some paper, and then and you might want to take some notes as we go along, okay? So this is all about you and the opportunities that you have available to you as a business entrepreneur. It will take about 30 minutes or so, and I encourage you to stay till the end, okay? So this presentation on how to brand the soul of your business is for you if you're a go-getter and ready to create a purpose-driven business, a soul-driven, purpose-driven business. You want to expand or break through any paradigms. You want to leave old paradigms behind you, and you want to create or continue creating an amazing momentum in your business. It's for you if you are totaling over following influencers but haven't been able to grow your business just the way you were hoping to. And this is for you if you're ready to make a big leap forward in your business by being authentically you, by being your personal, by showing and bringing out your personality. So what you'll discover, what I'll share with you here is I'll talk to you about branding, what branding is. We'll talk about the archetypes. I'll give you a little bit about the historical background, and I'll share with you how you can do this, how you can create the soul of your brand and the steps to create your brand. Okay. Seth Godin, he's an author and a marketer and a businessman, and you may have heard of the book, The Purple Cow. If you haven't, it's a good read. You should read it. He says a brand is a set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, when taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose a product or a service over another. What is branding? A lot of people think that branding is a logo or a tagline or colors, and admittedly it can seem confusing at first, but in fact it's actually a combination of elements which makes up the promise of an experience for the customer or your clients. And when you think of brands or companies like Coca-Cola or BMW or even IBM, Honda, you might have thought of a specific brand as I was talking here. People tend to see the logo in their minds and think that the logo is the brand, but it's also a combination of the logo and the tagline and the colors. In fact, it's the promise of the brand. And as soon as your potential customer or client lays eyes on you, or hears what you are saying or how you are saying it, the wording that you use. That's the experience that you're promising them to have when they work with you. And it's all about the connections and the intentions and the energy that you're giving out, which attract them to you. If you've heard of the law of attraction, that's all what it is about. Yeah, it's about the energy that you're giving out. So there are personal brands, like I mentioned. A good brand, a top quality brand, a special purposeful brand will always include what they stand for, who they are, and what they're an expert at. And the system that I use when I work with clients on their brand and how to create the soul of their brand is called Branding with Archetypes. And this step-by-step system ensures that your brand is a deeply emotional one. It's a deeply emotional experience for yourself, not just for your client, yeah? So, sorry, it's for yourself and for your client as well. I'll just take a sip of water. So in that process, it becomes very authentic to you. It's not going to be the same as anyone else's. It's like you have a myriad of fish and chip shops, or, for example, 7-Eleven, or any other shops where you've got these chains, yeah, where there are 100 McDonald's on every corner around your area, or in big cities. Every store or shop owner is different. Do you know? Have you realized that? You will have a different feel whichever shop or business you go to. So you'll have 7-Eleven stores, but each one will feel different. Deepak Chopra, for example, you may have heard of him before. He's renowned in self-development. He's an Indian-American author, an alternative medicine advocate, and he's very prominent in the so-called New Age movement. Yeah. His brand is that he's a healer of the mind, body, and spirit, and he's an expert at making something esoteric understandable to mainstream America and the whole world. And as you can see in that image there on the screen, what he stands for, he's there to serve, he's there to inspire, he's here to love, he's here to live his truth. So when you work with me, that's what we'll work on. And it will be an easy and systematic yet powerful step-by-step system that will create your unique brand as well. So what is an archetype? It was around 1919 that Carl Jung, he's a Swiss psychologist, psychoanalyst, and he proposed that the Jungian archetypes, that's what he called them, are defined as universal images and themes that derive from the collective unconscious. And the Greek word archetype, you know, if you've watched the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, if you've seen it, everything comes from the Greek, they say in the movie, and this word archetype also comes from the Greek, and it means original pattern or model. And the concept of an archetype appears in areas such as literature as well, yeah, and behavior and historical psychology. An archetype can be a constantly recurring symbol or motif in literature, painting, or mythology. So in literature and art, an archetype is a character or an event or a story or an image that recurs in different works, in different cultures, and in different periods of time. And somehow magically, everyone knows it because it's ingrained in our psyche. So your archetypes and their characteristics or traits are always reflective of your own uniqueness. And that's the beautiful part of this. It's the magical part of this. So you get 2 personal archetypes, and your signature archetype is the core. It's the core nature of you and of your personality. It's the motivation and the driving force behind you. And the influencing archetype gives your signature archetype the dimension and the colors and the tone and the uniqueness. Yeah, so they'll work together. And so it ultimately complements your signature archetype. So for example, if you're a consultant, so you might have two consultants. One of them has the ruler as your signature archetype, and your influencing archetype is artist. Your messaging and your marketing look and feel and of your company and your business, and your strengths, your values, and your vision will be totally different to the other consultant who has ruler as his signature and humanity or humanitarian as the influencing archetype. And the great things when you've got your archetypes is that you can use your attributes on a daily basis. You can use them in your messaging, in your wording, when you speak to your customers or when you write to them, when you create your marketing copy. Yeah, you can refer to the wording. And it isn't absolutely necessary that the people that you work with have to have exactly the same archetypes, okay? At any given time, your archetypes will appeal to the desire in your client or in your customer. So there will be something that's in your archetype, in the traits of, on the characteristics of your archetype that your client will need at that particular time when they seek you out, okay? So, and if you're anything like me by now, you've probably been asking yourself how and what you need to do to create your own unique and personal brand. So the aim of this powerful and deeply unique to you process to create the Soul of Your Brand guide, yeah, that's what the aim is. So this fascinating, the aim of it is to create the Soul of Your Brand guide. And the fascinating process about this is very transformative, and it's step by step. Okay, it's fun, it's magical, and you get to tap into your sacred intuition, and you get to establish what you stand for in your business and what you're an expert or what you're an authority at a very deep soul level. And together we focus on what you want to create for your customers and what you want them to create for themselves, okay? So you decide on the rules around expectations and exactly about how, you know, what the perimeter and the framework is at how you want to do with them, and much, much more. You can tap into your Soul of Your Brand guide on a daily basis. It's exactly what I do, and also what my clients do. In fact, I'm tapping into it right now as I'm talking to you. So the first thing you'll do when you work with me on how to brand the soul of your business is you get to do a branding with archetype assessment. So you can figure out what your archetypes are. And from that assessment, you get your signature and your influencing archetype. So it's a set of questions, about 120 questions that you get asked. You don't overthink your answer. It's just, my rule of thumb is first thought, best thought, because it comes from within. Yeah, it's from your intuition. And at the end of the assessment, the values are added up. So each question has a value, yeah, a number, a numerical value. And the totals of those are then added up, and the two highest score becomes your signature and your influencing archetype. So that's not all though, because after that, other steps in the process are we work out, and I guide you to work out what your unique brilliance is, what your core essence and your stand, your expert, what you're an expert at, what your brand promise values are, and your brand soul client experience. Those are just some of it, okay? And as you do these steps, you transfer the results into your Soul of Your Brand guide. And that's what you walk away at the end. And I always recommend to my clients that they read that several times a day. So I do this. I do the same, and I also have it recorded on my phone, so I can listen to it when I can. You know, when I can't read it, when I go for a walk or when I do anything else, even when I'm cooking, I have my earphones in or I have it on loudspeaker, and I listen to it rather than read it. So to do the assessment, you're provided with a link if we're doing it online. Otherwise, you can do it on a printed assessment as well. You fill in as instructed. It's very simple, don't worry. And there you can see an image of what the assessment booklet looks like when we do it in person. And the images of the 12 archetypes. Oh, I forgot to mention which archetypes I work with, before. There was a slide there with all the different archetypes. So some of them are the alchemist, the ruler, romantic, the hero. You may have heard different names or different types, but basically the 12 archetypes are the ones that I work with, are some of them that I just mentioned before. So as an example, you also get those cards. You get a set of 12 cards, but also in particular your signature and your influencing archetype. My signature archetype, as an example, is alchemist. And on the one side of it, I'll show you, that's the card that you get. So that's the alchemist one. Yeah, if you can see it. Yeah. So on one side, you have beautiful artwork on there. And then at the bottom of it, you have your spiritual contract. So the spiritual contract for the archetype, the alchemist archetype, which is my rule, my main signature one, is to make dreams come true. And then on the back of the card here, you can see a list of branding words that you can use. So that's the list that I refer to on a daily basis. And then I also have my ruler one here. And I have it standing on my desk in one of these, like a stand, a plastic stand. I refer to that on a daily basis. And you have your spiritual contract on the one side, and on the other side, you have a list of the branding words, and then also some of your challenges, what your challenges can be, what your strengths are, what your strong points are, other examples of your archetype, other example of brands with your archetype, and then, of course, your challenges as well, yeah? So for the alchemist, for example, some of my strengths are creating change, producing ideas, inventing new solutions, transforming situations. And then some of the challenges for an archetype would be to be grounded or superiority. Yeah. So those are just some examples of it. On that image here, on that slide, you can see examples of well-known brands. On the left-hand side, there's the ruler, which is the Mercedes, and McDonald's has the innocent as their archetype, the playful archers, yeah. And the third image at the top there is of Rosa Parks. She's got the humanitarian as her archetype. If you don't know who Rosa Parks is, she's a Black American lady who refused to sit at the back of the bus. Back in the day, the Blacks were meant to sit at the front, or they weren't allowed to sit at, the back. They weren't allowed to sit at the front, and the front seats were reserved for whites. So one day she decided to sit at the front, and she wouldn't budge. And that just meant that opened up the doors for change for America and also for the rest of the world. So her brand, as I said before, is the humanitarian. So just imagine your brand here. Imagine when people see your brand, they know exactly what you stand for. They see your brand and they know exactly who you are. If you've heard of the archetypes, perhaps you may have tried to assign some of them to yourself as I was talking. Maybe it's your logo or how you make them feel, what you say to them, how you help them transform in any area of their lives. Simon Mainwaring is an author, and he leads a consultancy that helps growth and impact for purpose-driven brands. He has said, define what your brand stands for, its core values and tone of voice, and then communicate consistently in those terms. Yeah? What now? as promised, I've given you strategies on how to brand the soul of your business. I've shared with you the background of the archetypes and some of their traits and how these traits can help you and support your brand personality, and also how you can show up in your business in a very authentic and soul-driven way. We've talked about how or what branding is and what it isn't, and how you can create your personal and unique guide, your very own soul of your brand guide. And I'm sure that you can agree that this was a very magical insight in how to brand the soul of your business. I know if you don't believe in magic, you will after this. So just imagine what your life and business would look like if you accessed the soul of your brand guide on a daily basis. If you could simply and gracefully use the branding words that are on your signature and your influencing archetype cards like I showed you, instead of having a mental block or a writer's block when you're trying to write copy. Imagine how confident you would feel knowing your marketing message and the look and the feel is unique to you and not the same as everyone else's, because it comes from deep within your soul and your purpose and your personality. You know that you can now command the stage with this soul of your brand guide and create a successful life and business on purpose and on brand in an authentic you way. And the result is that you can have a freedom-based, purpose-driven business and lifestyle, attracting those clients to you who are needing just those specific traits of your personal archetypes, and they want to work with you, with no one else, because of what you do and how you bring out your personality into the world and into your business. Because you are here for a reason, and those clients are waiting to work with you. So if you're ready and committed to be authentically you in your life and by divine default in your business, and if you're ready to invest in yourself and create momentum in your purpose-driven business, and you want me to help you brand the soul of your business, then it's time for you to say yes and claim the free gift that I promised you at the start. Yeah. And that's your complimentary archetype assessment. And I want to help you figure out how to bring your brand and how to bring your personality more into the world and to attract clients to you as well. Okay. So if you want that assessment, by all means, get in touch with me via my website, ruthstuettgen.com, that you can see at the screen there, or if you're listening to it, Ruth Stuettgen, STUETTGEN is the surname.com, and reach out for your personal branding assessment as well. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. So go out there and make them feel, or make them remember you, because you made them feel in a specific way. That's Maya Angelou. I'm sure you've heard of her. She's a poet and a civil rights activist who's no longer in this realm, unfortunately. So thank you so much. My name is Ruth Stuettgen. And I want to thank you for staying till the end. And Rose, I'm going to stop these screen shares so I can be with you. And anybody who's watching this, please pass it on to someone, because I would like to help as many people as I can in this world.
Ruth, thank you so much for joining me. That was an absolutely amazing presentation, and I absolutely loved every word. I actually was hanging on to every word that you said. It was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you. I hope that you also were able to learn something from that, Rose, or even just a snippet.
Yes, I did learn a lot, and I have the privilege of having the original tape, so I can listen to it over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
So I could never ever, if I get lost or I get forget something, I can always go back and remind myself about what you said, because it was an absolutely brilliant presentation. I absolutely loved it. Thank you. Ruth, where can people find you other than at your website? Where can they find you if they want to know more or they want to work with you?
On my website and also on the normal social media channels like Facebook. Connect with me on Facebook. I'd love that. And also on LinkedIn, all under my name, Ruth Stuettgen. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I am, all the different handles that you can get. So I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this branding with Archetypes. And if you'd like the assessment, by all means, reach out as well.
Perfect. Ruth, have you got any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience today?
I forgot to think about that. So it's going to be from my soul right now to your soul.
As it should be. As it should be.
It's I'd love for people to take away that it doesn't matter where you are and at what point you start to think differently about your life and your business. It's okay. Yeah, because sometimes people think I'm too old, I'm too big, I'm too little, I'm too feminine, I'm too masculine. It's okay to start from where you are and just to put whatever has happened behind you and learn from it. Be grateful for the experiences that you've gained, but also know that it's time for you to look forward and actually just be yourself, to start loving yourself and the way you are, and to not think that people are going to think different things about me if I don't do business or do life the way I am.
I just do life the way I am. And, if people don't like it, it's their loss, not mine.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you've got to think about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ruth, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for the honour and hope you feel better very soon, Rose.
Thanks, Ruth.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.